First, I'd like to preface this with nobody is sponsoring what you're about to watch. I purchased all of this that I'm about to introduce here and review with my own money. But if you'd like to support me and you enjoy what I do, go ahead and check out my website. I'll link it in the description below. Check out my LUTs, my presets. They are available for purchase, but that is how you can support me. Now, this kit helped me turn regular iPhone footage into a lot of professional work that I actually do, including cinematic highlight reels of weddings that I typically work out of. If you want to see examples of these wedding films and how I turn them into cinematic highlight reels with an iPhone using this technology here, feel free to check it out. It's in a WeTransfer link down in the description of this video as well. So the primary thing about this first is the small rig 5-in-1 case. So what's in the bag? Essentially, it is a carrying case. So I typically will carry around this iPhone and then this pack. And sometimes if I just want like the most minimal setup, it's just these two things that I'll take along. So what's inside? You do get a couple of things. So the first one is a cleaning cloth, very simple, very needed. Second thing is the most used one. So the VND filter, this is actually my go-to thing. This is all I pretty much use most of the time. Gets me everything I need in order to control my shutter speeds and proper exposure. Next one is a CPL filter. I use this at night if I want to kind of diffuse the lighting a little bit, making it a little more soft at weddings or at night. But really primarily, this is gonna be used at night in order to soften lighting. I don't really use it during the daytime. I will say I don't use it a whole lot as I thought I would, only because if I ever need to diffuse the light or cast that glow, I can do that naturally using DaVinci's software. So not really using it a whole lot, but it is nice to have. Next one is the CPL filter. I gotta be honest, I've used this maybe a handful of times, not as much as I really would have liked to, but the few times that I have used it, you know, to kill any reflection on water surfaces or kind of enhance the blue and greens in like the mountainous landscapes that I shoot in. But that will be the next thing. And then it kind of doesn't make sense why these two come in here, but essentially up next, you do have a threaded, hold on, if I can just separate these, a threaded ring and then a lens cover. Now, what's missing out of all this in order to complete the set is this 67mm adapter. Everything is magnetic, so you don't really have to screw anything on. So this is also this is also a plus. Now, obviously, in order to make all of this work, you do need the iPhone case for which all of this connects to. These are going to be sold separately. You can get them for $29, but essentially it comes with two options. One with a closed back, and then the other with an open back. I don't really use this one a whole lot. It gives you a more minimal feel, but I just like the protection of this one. Plus, it comes with a kickstand, so that also helps out. I typically have this on my iPhone pretty much all the time. This is what it looks like right here. Now, if you do want the minimal look, it's pretty easy to take on and off. If you do want the minimal look, that's what it looks like. Now, I will say these two cases actually pair really well with another component that I think will add to this, but is not really mandatory or really required. So obviously you've got these things. Now, I will say the other thing that I will use from time to time, I don't use a whole lot, and I think you can definitely scoot by without getting this, is this cage. So this cage essentially is gonna come with two handles and the iPhone cage here that this case pairs seamless with. So you would just slide it in to the case, it locks, and then you would just kind of plug these in to the other side. You can get it vertical or horizontal. And the nice thing that I do like about it is that they're very easy to switch back and forth from. It does come with a remote shutter button, so you don't have to keep clicking the screen, and they are and they can pivot to give you different angles. At the end of the day, all of the extra stuff like the cage is fun and all, and it's got its use cases. However, I will say at the end of the day, if you really wanted to take your iPhone footage to the next level and actually have a good time editing what you shoot, this is pretty much the only thing that I would recommend. This thing does retail for about $120, so just keep that in mind. Everything else is extra, but with this, heavily recommend the case, which is about another $25, and this lens adapter, which is about another $9. So, you know, for the price you pay, you're gonna walk away with a great product. On top of all of that, I think the thing that I've also really enjoyed is, here's a shameless plug, my LUTs. My LUTs do pair really well with the footage that you're able to get out of this, and in order to maximize the quality of the LUTs and the look of it, I would highly recommend taking a look at these 2 other reviews that I did for these 2 other apps. Cinetemp, which is going to allow you to capture the appropriate light and expose the white balance properly for your scenario, all on your iPhone, by the way. It's just a simple app. And then a second one is going to be the Blackmagic camera app. Without that app in particular, this is kind of useless actually, because your native iPhone camera is going to adapt naturally with the lighting, and it does not give you the amount of control you would need in order to really utilize this. So Blackmagic camera app and Cinetemp, highly recommended. If you have not seen those reviews on my channel, go ahead and check them out. But we'll see you guys in the next one.